Give it up for your WEPLAY Bukovel Minor champions, Team Nick.
There has been an MVP vote during the series and the tournament. I got one for support, I got one for core, and sorry guys, but it so happens that the MVPs are on my side. Kuro, support MVP, Miracle, core MVP. Bukovel, make some noise, Team Nigma. All right, Rich, back to you.
A big congratulations to Nigma. And just to actually think about the way that they were able to do this throughout the entirety of this tournament, just picking up more and more momentum, learning more and more. This is a team that you expect to actually see at a major, and they're going to be able to do it in style. And speaking of style, we're putting on a show for them here across the mountains.
Look at that.
Very well deserved by the entire squad.
What the?
Holy shit, this is fucking awesome. Let's fucking go.
Yeah.
That is the sickest trophy I've ever seen in my entire life, and they've definitely earned it. It was also one of the most epic ways I've seen a minor actually come to a conclusion.
Any event come to a conclusion. Look at this display. This is great.
I'm waiting for the fireworks to like explode and just leave an after image of Kuro's face.
Whoa, you know?
Yeah, the
I don't know what to expect.
It's coming. Wow. It's definitely coming. But I mean, I go all the way back to, I told this story countless times of just the beginning of this trip for me. I get into the bus up the mountain, and it's just
what
me.
What kind of bus was this?
Well, I ended up taking 2 buses, but I want to talk about the first one, not the second one. The first one I was riding in with Mind Control, and he told me he felt like he had the least Dota knowledge that he's ever felt like he's had going into a tournament. But he said so many times when they feel like they're in a situation like that, they don't feel that they're at their utmost strength. That's where somehow they manage to rally. And sure enough, we see them able to do just that. And we see them able to do something that Nigma has done countless times. Get to a bad position and bounce back.
Well, that's the thing. There's never been a game like that game, getting to the major off a game like that. You couldn't have it any better way, really, for Team Nigma. To win a game where they're 40k down, it looks like the whole world's against them. There's an incredibly farmed Spectre. And then somehow, I don't know how it happened, but they end up winning it, moving on to the major. You couldn't have written it any better.
I mean, now the question is, Kyle, what do you think they're actually going to look like when they do get to the major, because it's right around the corner?
Oh, if it's anything like this tournament, they'll look terrible. Then get into the BL1s and win the tournament. They got close at TI, all the way into the final after starting off in the BL1s, and this just kind of blows my mind, to be honest. That last that engagement in the base, the vacuum,
the 5-man vacuum.
Echo Slam. I mean, come on, this is what separates championship caliber teams from great teams. Liquid force you need to beat them. Okay, I don't care if they're 40k down. I don't care if they're down 2 racks. If they're in a position where they've got their core items online, they've got this strong team fight, you can't mess up. And it's not even that they made a mistake. Yeah, you slid out of position, but even after that, Nigma, they were still taking good fights, the one at the bottom racks as well.
And I got to say, Sind brought this up. I was talking about both of these teams that made it to the grand final and basically said, which team do you think will do better at the major? And he said, coming in, current state, RNG, he thought would be the team that would potentially perform better.
Yeah.
But when you look at Nigma, their skill ceiling just appears to be higher. Yeah. Do you think that they're going to be able to get closer to that skill ceiling before the major and potentially just be a force to be reckoned with?
Absolutely. I made a very bold call. I was in an interview at the start of this event. They asked me, Odie Pixel, who do you think is going to win TI-10? I said Team Nigma before any of this happened. And I think just from looking at the comparison of the start of the tournament to the end of the tournament, the reason why you can back this squad is because of that sort of trajectory that they just shoot up on. Yes, RNG, they played great, they looked solid, but they came in at a level, they sort of stayed at that level. It was a great level, but you just had Nigma just take over them, and I don't see Nigma stopping anytime soon. If this is what Nigma can do at an event where they didn't scrim, they didn't practice, they just turned up and were like, all right, boys, let's see if we can make it to the major. If they can pull out these sort of performances, all the other teams already at the major, they've got to be watching them closely because Nigma, you've got to be prepared.
This is the same. I remember back when VP and Secret were on their reign of dominance. It's all about who would they say their biggest fear was? Which team? It was always Liquid. Now, of course, Team Nigma. But it didn't matter that they went through some lulls. They're a championship caliber team. To your point, Rich, there is that next gear. There's always that next gear because they can win a tournament if they're playing at their best, no matter how unprepared they come into it.
All right, well, it's time to put a close on